Hi, I'm Jenkins. Welcome to week 18 of Reflections. I really hope that's right, or else I'm going to look like a dumbass, but whatever. Let's roll with it. 18. So, this week is going to be quite different, and it might be a lot different moving forward as well, but I think it's time for a switch up here. Now, this series was never meant to be anything close to formal. It It's supposed to be laid back. It's a way for me to reflect and to kind of think things through and just analyze what's working and what's not. And after thinking about it for quite some time, I think it's time I change things up. I think I want to stop doing the whole Excel spreadsheet thing. It was pretty cool to track everything, but honestly, it's really becoming tiring to see uh, to have to record every hour. It makes me focus too much on just getting putting in hours. It doesn't feel very natural when I'm trying to do my activities. It feels more forced. It feels like I'm really um grinding, to get those hours out. And I think I would be much better off. I would enjoy myself when I'm doing those activities like music production. I would enjoy it so much more if there wasn't a quota I was trying to hit every week. I really think that is very true. So I think that's going to be my plan moving forward. And I'm sorry if you were liking the Excel sheet, but it might be revisited one day. It's just I need a break. It's been different here. I've been quite busy actually with my new job. Been doing um a lot of tasks that have taken a lot more time than I thought. So I'm not as much free time as I thought I would have, but nonetheless, there's plenty of time for me to make some changes around here. So let's go into what I want to start doing instead then, and that would be working, focusing more so on mindset. I want to make sure that I am able to. I want to build a solid foundation where I can build off of. And I truly, firmly believe that it all starts with your mindset, psychology. If you can get your head, if you can get your mindset corrected, if you can get your psychology straight and just understand all of that, you can do whatever you want. You can go after whatever it is you choose in life and be successful in it. But you have to have the right mindset. And that is why it's so important. So I'm going to be doing a lot of focus in cultivating that ideal mindset. And I've done these things in little bits and pieces in the past, and I have seen huge benefits from them, but I was never able to keep doing them. I wasn't able to be consistent, and I wasn't able to continue stacking them on top of each other. It'd just be one thing, do it for a while, toss it, do a different thing, instead of doing, building building that foundation of habits and, just rituals that you do every day without even thinking about it because you understand their value that they give to you. So I made a list, and it's a list of um, things that I've learned, in the last couple years, especially through so many sources, books, YouTube videos, um, you name it. And I truly believe that these are the things that have come up the most often through several different philosophies and many different gurus in their own respective fields. So, number one is meditation every single day. There's no secret about meditation and its benefits. It's well known, well documented, and it's quite simple and easy to do. You only need to meditate for 5 to 10 minutes a day to see benefits. And there is nobody in the world who can say they can't make 5 to 10 minutes to meditate a day. especially myself. So there's no reason I shouldn't be able to do that every single day. And this is 5 minutes of dedicated meditation. I know a lot of times I kind of in the morning, sometimes I guess out of laziness, I like to just lay in bed and just, I guess that's a form of meditation, but it just gives me an excuse to stay in bed longer. And I'm like, oh, I'm meditating. I'm just gonna meditate for a little bit, or right before I go to sleep, because I didn't find time. I didn't make time to do it during the day. So then right before I sleep, I feel like that's kind of cheating, like when you're right before you fall asleep, that doesn't count as meditation really. It's more just like you're going to sleep. So I think finding dedicated time in the day, you know, when I'm not laying in bed, I think that's huge. I think for meditation. Also on here on my list, I have slowing down, and this includes just what it sounds like literally slowing down your life. Like it's just really to reduce extra stimulation and make yourself be more mindful of what you're doing, your activities, your thoughts, um, thinking things through. Not running on autopilot. Really making sure that you're conscious of what you're doing at all times. That mindfulness. That's big because so many of us are running on autopilot when we do so many things during our day, and we're not aware, at least at the time, that we're wasting our time. We're doing things that aren't serving us in the long term. We're going against our logical, rational mind and just giving into these temptations that happen throughout the day. These high dopamine inducing activities that we all love to do, but when you really think it through and you're mindful of it, they're not helping you get to where you want to be. Also, I have on here improve focus, and this I got mostly from, I believe it was Hindu monks. They say that when you, I'm sure it's from other cultures and religions and philosophies as well, but uh, by not multitasking, like so many times throughout the day, I find myself, I try to play a game while I'm reading an article or something, and maybe I'm able to pull it off, so to speak, but it's not it's maybe it's called efficient in somewhere in some way of wording it, but I think it's really diverting my attention. It's training my mind to be distracted, and then when it's time to focus on one thing, I'm always, my other my other side's thinking, oh, I could be doing this at the same time, and that it's in and of itself is diverting my focus from just doing one thing at a time. And I think that's really good for handling anxiety and uh you know just really making progress for what I'm trying to do here. um this is a easy one. One that um I've been trying to do for a while, but consistent exercise here. Ever since I moved, I had to cancel um, my gym membership, but there is one gym here in town which I'm probably gonna be going to. But in the meantime, I wanted to start doing walks. Morning walks, just getting outside at first daybreak. I have seen way too many videos and people recommending going outside and just, you know, when you take in the morning light, it really helps regulate your circadian rhythm, helps your sleep schedule, which is another one on the list, which is consistent sleep. Having a consistent sleep pattern, especially ever since I moved here, I've been running wild, staying up late nights, and destroying my sleep schedule every way I possibly can. So I need to get more consistent on the time I fall asleep and when I wake up. I want those to be very consistent day in and day out, planned, and aiming for roughly 8 hours of sleep, 7 at the bare minimum. And hydration. I'm usually pretty good about this one, but um, it could be better at times. Remember, your brain needs water to function. If you're dehydrated, you're going to be more anxious. You're going to be uh, not, your memory's not going to be as good. I could go on for days about the benefits of staying hydrated. So just do it, you know? And then regulating my, I guess, highly stimulating activities. Easy to fall back into the pit of gaming. And that's one that will always be my drug of choice. So I don't want to give it up entirely. I don't think it'd even be good for me to give it up entirely because gaming has been a huge source of inspiration and creativity in my life. So I don't think I should just trash it altogether. But I definitely think limiting myself in some form is definitely going to be imperative moving forward. So, and that could be in the form of dopamine detox. If you remember back, I think it was like week 10, I did a dopamine detox special, and that happened to be one of my better weeks I've done. And, you know, if you look at the data, that probably was a pretty darn good idea. And I do like the idea of it, but it's just a lot of people, these trends that you see on social media. Not that I would know too much about that, but I've come to understand that people do these dopamine detoxes and post it on their Instagram or their TikTok, and it's like you go 24 hours without using your phone or playing games or staying away from your vices, right? But what they don't show is what they do the next day. You know, I bet I'm willing to bet the majority of those people who post those I just did a 24-hour dopamine detox video. They go right back into their regular activities the very next day. And if that's what you're doing, it was all for nothing, you know? You did one day where you freed yourself from distractions. And honestly, that's not even enough time for your body to completely reset completely and, for you to like start breaking addictions and habits that you want to change. So, it's really a lifestyle that you adopt, and it's kind of relates into the whole moderation is key. It's you don't have to go, you don't have to go your whole life without using your phone or social media, but it's just all about moderating that so you're not spiking your brain with dopamine too often, so that when you do more less stimulating tasks, like for me it's like playing the piano or music production, things that I care about deeply that I do love, but it's really hard to do because they don't give me as much dopamine and they're more mentally taxing. They're mentally demanding, and it's hard to get my dopamine off of those. So when I've been spiking my dopamine from playing video games all the time, my body's threshold of dopamine, the my I'm below threshold when I stop doing those activities, and then these smaller, these less stimulating tasks don't even get me back to baseline, and that's a problem. That's why the dopamine detox is an effective method, but you just have to make it a lifestyle and make it consistent throughout, and just keep limiting those highly stimulating activities moving forward after your detox. So, reading, 10 pages a day. I want to make that my, um, I want to make that what I do, like 10 pages a day. But I would also like to just start this half an hour before I go to bed. And depending on what kind of book it is, it might take me the full 30 minutes to get through 10 pages. But I want to basically read for like 30 minutes slash 10 pages, whatever I'm feeling like before I go to sleep, so I can, one, limit screen time. You're supposed to limit screen time an hour before you go to sleep, so reading in place of that would be a really good replacement. And then two, as you get better at reading, I do believe it's kind of a meditative, not meditation straight up, but it's kind of just giving your mind a break from extra distractions and what have you. So it's just a really good habit. Those intellectual pleasures in life are the most accessible, they're the most affordable, and they're the most beneficial. And there's no reason that we should not be taking advantage of them. And it's fun. At the end of the day, learning new things is fun. I, these last, I don't know, this last year, half year, I guess, I've been really absorbing just a ton of life philosophy, and it's been so captivating, and I've enjoyed every bit of it. And I want to keep doing that. I want to keep learning these self improvement books and everything. I just love learning so many different perspectives, and then I can choose for myself what I want to integrate in my life, what I want to take away from everything I learn, and that's really cool. And I also had a couple other things here. Journaling, I've had bits and bouts where I've gone away from it because just life got busy and I never really made it consistent in the first place. I kind of journal when I feel like it. I don't ever force myself to write, but I do really enjoy writing too, and journaling is a huge part of that. And I really do think it helps you puts your thoughts on a paper, so it helps clear your mind in a way, and it also kind of helps you work things out. Like I've noticed, like when you're able to talk to a friend and just get things off your chest, so to speak, you're able to kind of work things out. You're able to like identify your problems and identify solutions, and before you know it, you listen to yourself, kind of like in these videos. You kind of figure out solutions for your own problems. You know, Kind of like therapists. Like their biggest part of their job is listening, and then the person talking. You know, Once they get down to the roots of their problems, they already know what they should be doing. They just had to give themselves the permission to do it. Really, in a lot of cases. Also, I have breath work. I don't know if y'all ever heard of Wim Hof, but he seems to be the master of it, and I might be employing a little bit of that. Although their effects are very temporary, it could be used situationally for when you're encountering high times of stress or anxiety. Um, yeah, and then I have a few other I have not just a few honestly, but I have a lot of other sources, books, techniques I want to try out, but I can't do everything at once, and it's quite overwhelming when I really want to. But I have to keep things, I have to keep things practical here. So I'm only going to be doing a couple things at a time. Well, this whole list, I'm going to be trying to do. I'm going to try to integrate this, slowly, but I can't do everything overnight. I'm human. I am Jenkins, but I am human, and you got to work yourself up step by step, and building that foundation I think is key here to really making progress, because lately I've been really feeling like I've hit a plateau here with my music production, and it just feels like I'm not finding the proper source of information. Um I need to find classes, courses, something to keep me in a structured environment where I can see my progress. I think that'll help a lot. And then I'm also going to be spending more time on that Discord server that had people who actually produce the kind of music that I want to learn how to produce in it. And that will probably give me a really good start here. So that's what I'm going to be working on here in the upcoming weeks. We'll see where this goes. Like I said, the series is supposed to be very informal, and it's supposed to be me just figuring things out as I go. So I think it's time for a switch up. Hopefully this turns out okay, and I will keep you all up to date on my findings and what happens. So y'all be good to yourselves. Take care. No compromise. Let's go.